How are you?
I'm good. I'm managing my grief better from last week.
Yeah, you look a lot better. I didn't think it would take this. It would be this fast, but I'm surprised, honestly. I think
abbreviated grief.
Your tips are working wonders. In fact,
yes.
even Daniel sounds a lot better.
Oh yes.
And he rather is preparing for me to manage grief.
Now it's your turn. Today is your turn.
But I want to promise you that.
Who do you?
Oh yes, I mean I'm promising you that you see
this week we've heard promises of social media.
Don't worry.
We heard somebody's promise. Fellow Odadia, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
So we are going to make a promise.
Yes. And the promise is that this particular episode of Managing Grief, the part 2, which actually details how to really manage it, will be very good for the Real Betis fans.
Oh, sir.
Yes.
Omundos were Ghana. Chelsea for the doors.
Managing.
We are speaking for the, we are the democracy. It's always the majority. You always think about the majority. Besides, we the Man U fans, we are supporting our player,
Anthony.
He's still on our books.
Oh, sure.
So we yesterday against so.
Yes,
against, but we are just supporting our player.
We hear you.
Today I'm going to go into great detail, so that what happened to Daniel Kranti
will not happen to me.
Will not happen to I think Chelsea is going to win. I think they're going to have too much for Real Betis. And good luck to you guys. So, Kwame, we'll continue the conversation on Purple May.
Yeah. Before you actually do that, I think I saw something amazing that Augusta and the team were doing.
Yes. World Menstrual Hygiene Day is actually today.
It's actually today.
Yes, and Kwame, it's one of those things that flies under the radar. Nobody picks it up, but it is a very, very important topic that we should address in our part of the world. I mean, when every female hits the pubertal period, menstruation is not a decision. It's not a choice. It's something that happens as a physiological process. Unfortunately, there are some financial considerations to it, because if you want to maintain menstrual hygiene, well, it comes at a cost, and this is why Augusta, who is a Rotarian, Ekwapim Rotary Club or Rotary Club of Ekwapim, they have this initiative, Part a Girl, they call it.
I saw that, Part a Girl.
Part a Girl, and today they are somewhere in the Okre district, which is next to Ekwapim North. So that those who are not quite familiar with the
so
geography.
They're donating sanitary pads to
to girls in primary and JHS schools today. And Kwame, sometimes we are cocooned in our own little worlds. If I tell you that the girls in these parts of the country, some of them haven't seen or do not know what a sanitary pad is.
And we're talking about teenage girls.
Yes, we're talking about teenage girls.
Wow.
And their vulnerabilities. Sometimes somebody's buying and providing this thing for them. Quid pro quo. I buy this for you, you do this for me. So these are some of the simple things I think we can all do. And Kwame, let me chip this in. I think I've heard there's a Ghanaian who's making sanitary towels from plantain. Right here in this country. And I think that company, that man needs to be supported. We always talk about growing local business and very, very healthy from plantain fiber.
Organic.
Yes, organic as well. So World Menstrual Hygiene Day. So those of us who want to, please contact the Rotary team, and then like next year, let's make it even bigger.
Right, great.
So that's that for World Menstrual Hygiene Day. So Kwame, I think we can proceed to Purple May and continue with our conversation on mental health awareness. And last week we started a conversation about grief, something that I think all of us would have experienced at one point or the other in our lives. And we define grief as the loss of someone or something special to you. So that loss of someone may not necessarily be death, but then the loss of a relationship. You had a relationship with someone. It could be that it was a sibling. Something happens and you find siblings not talking to each other anymore. Or you had a marriage or a loving relationship, romantic relationship, and the relationship, things go south and you lose that person. People can grieve. There are also the mobile phones and other things, laptops, household property that you lose, that through natural disasters or through theft, that people can grieve over. Unfortunately, most people don't understand the grieving process. There are also cultural nuances that we need to understand. And sometimes people are stuck in that grieving process and they never come out of it. So last week, for example, Kwame, we looked at the stages of grief. For example, I mentioned the 5 stages of grief. Let me recap them briefly. Stage
Denial,
1,
anger, is it acceptance?
Bargaining,
depression, and acceptance.
Brilliant, Kwame. Thank you. So those are the 5 stages that most people, irrespective of their cultural background, tend to go through these 5 stages. Or when you come out to the acceptance stage, then you can move on. So, question is, how do we get through the stages? How do we ensure that we don't get stuck in a particular stage? So that is what we are going to talk about today. So, Kwame, grief is a process, or managing grief is a process. And it involves what we call self-care.
Okay.
It involves finding suitable coping mechanisms, and it involves seeking support when it becomes necessary. So, step 1, you need to understand the process of grieving. And that is why we had the conversation last week, which you recapped beautifully right now, that grieving goes through certain stages. So that you don't beat yourself up that you are experiencing certain emotions that fall under one particular stage. It's okay if you are going through the bargaining period. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that if you don't understand that is also a stage of the process, then you may just be a little too hard on yourself. It is okay to go through that period of depression, just so long as you know that, that's part of the grieving process. I feel down this moment. I don't feel like going out. I don't feel like going to church. I don't feel like doing rep your jersey on Saturday. I don't feel like, Charlie, it's your team that's playing your PSG. No, I'm not watching the game. Then we all know that there's something is wrong because you lost, someone. It's okay. It's part of the process. So step 1 is about understanding the process. And I think by now, those who started the conversation with us last week, everybody understands the process. Step 2 is adopting an appropriate coping mechanism. Right. So, Kwame, what are coping mechanisms? Well, these are conscious and voluntary acts. They are different from defense mechanisms. So with coping mechanisms, these are the thoughts and behaviors that are mobilized to enable us deal with internal and external stressful situations. So you may have an internal or you may have an external stressful situation. We all tend to mobilize some thoughts. We all tend to put up a certain behavior. So I can tell you, Philip in his heydays, he was bounced a few times. But you just see, dog arm. Don't mind that I dog arm. And then you join boys, and then they will go on. So it's a behavior. It's deliberate. It's a coping mechanism. And they're not rough. but he needs to cope. So he'll just say, dog arm. And then you try to move. Defense mechanisms are different. They are usually subjective. subconscious and unconscious actions. You don't know you're doing it. You just slide into it. But they all have one aim: to protect us. So when we talk about coping mechanisms, we categorize them into 4 major groups. You have the problem-focused coping mechanism. Here, you want to address the problem that is causing your distress, if you can. So last week, Daniel Kranti, he couldn't adopt this coping mechanism because there's nothing he can do about the thing that is causing his distress. So you cannot adopt that. But there are some times where you can just head on deal with that problem that is causing your stress. Then we also have emotion-focused coping mechanisms. Here, the aim is to reduce the negative emotions associated with the problem. So, for example, you can do what we call positive reframing, acceptance of the situation. So, when something is happening, you are incredibly sad, you're experiencing sadness from that. Then you reframe that emotion to mean something else. So, okay, I'm just seeing whether or not this is good. It's helping me to find a part of myself. I thought I was a piece of stone, but now I can experience sadness too. So I know that I'm human and I have different emotions. So you can positively reframe your emotions just to help you cope with the pain. You can also do what we call meaning-focused or adapt the meaning-focused coping mechanism, in which the individual uses cognitive strategies to derive and manage meaning of the situation. So, but most of the time, things happen and we don't understand. So I break my leg many years ago, and then you are thinking, why did I break my leg? Why did I? Well, but then in hospital, then I met this nurse, and then well, one thing led to the other. And it's still leading to another and another and another. So now I said, there's meaning in this leg break. Yes, this leg break is good. Well,
so in other words, I guess that was your coping mechanism.
Yeah, Bibisa. So that's the meaning focus one, where you try to find why the thing happened, and then it can help you cope better. And then the last one is what we call the social coping, in which the individual reduces stress by seeking emotional or instrumental support from the community. So you can't do it alone, and then you get others involved. So that is step 2, the different coping strategies that we can use to help us deal with grief. Step 3 is what I call self-care. I like that a lot. And I think gradually we are introducing that into our society. People call it me time, for example. It's a form of self-care. So you say, what is me time? Okay, today I don't want anybody to come and bother mommy. Mommy is not going to cook for anybody today. Mom go to the kitchen, there's food. Mommy is not doing any dusting, cleaning. Mommy is not going to work this weekend. Okay, so either you're going to do your hair, you're going to go for a massage, you're going to go and sit in the botanical gardens and listen to the birds chirp away. You're doing something for just you for once. So self-care, and we usually categorize them. You can do the physical health aspects of self-care, where you prioritize sleep. Try and get good sleep. Eat regular meals. Eat healthy meals, I must say, as well. Incorporate exercise into your routine. It's also very helpful. Self-care can also have an emotional angle or aspect to it, where these days they talk about mindfulness, practicing mindfulness. I think it's very good. Most of the time, our minds wander. We always think of a lot of different things. So that habit of mindfulness, where you try and block out everything and just focus on you for once, People call meditation. People are doing yoga. They are all very good ways of doing emotional self-care. So that's step 3. Come step 4. These first 3 steps are not helping you that much. So step 4 is seeking support. Talk to others. Consider professional help. That's where we come in. Medical's Hospital and many other healthcare facilities. The Ghana Health Service even has an emergency hotline, for mental health support services. So consider professional help. Let's not shy away from it and think that, if I go and tell a healthcare professional, psychiatrist, clinical psychologist, medical doctor, if I talk to anyone about this, they would think that this small thing shouldn't be the reason why I am grieving so much. No, there's nothing like that. And that's why we started with the definition of grief, which is the loss of something special or significant, or the loss of someone. So you determine what that special thing is, and then we take it on from there. You can also join a support group, to help you deal with that grief, with that loss. So that's step 4. When the first 3 steps haven't worked, you need to seek support. Then, lastly, be kind to yourself. Don't expect too much from yourself during this period where you are grieving. You're not going to function at full capacity. It's okay if every now and then we don't bring our A game. It's okay. Sometimes I think we always think that we should be at full capacity. To allow yourself to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to experience other emotions. But I think sometimes it's too much for us. And there's a reason why football or sports generally is enjoyed in pubs. Do you know why?
Tell me.
The men are not supposed to cry. So they find another outlet. They drink the beer. You see, they will be there. Because I share you about much. The stadium is even empty. The guy is sitting in the pub. Is sitting in the pub. I shouldn't rough, So that's what they tend to. It's not a healthy habit. It's not something we encourage, but I think it's just because we are not allowed to feel. We are not allowed to cry. So then there will be another channel, which is that I go and drink, and that's the point that I was trying to make. Celebrate good times. Remember the happy memories and positive aspects of the relationship. So Kwame, we decided that with the Man U fans, we decided to remember the quarter-final match against Olympic Lyonnais. That comeback, that glorious comeback.
The 3 goals in 6 minutes.
Yes, that magic, Balam goals. That's a match that I went back to watching. And I see that match as the final. Then I imagine the cup and all of that, and I'm quite happy with that. So remember the happy memories and positive aspects of the times you spent with that person or that thing. And then Kwame, lastly, when you get to acceptance, this is when you're able to look to the future.
There you go. Good stuff. I mean, I think it's very relatable, and that's what I'm excited about. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners have learned a lot from it. You can, if you have questions or comments, you can send us a WhatsApp on 055-1111-997, or you want to share anything with us, you can call us as well.
Right.
But I think this has been a very, very educative conversation. I think a lot of people have been going through grief without necessarily processing the different parts of it.
Right. They may not even know that this what they are feeling is quote unquote it's normal.
Yeah.
But I don't know any human being who has not experienced grief. I tell you what, my big brother is grieving right now, not because he's a Man U fan, but because his phone fell and he broke and the screen cracked. And when you see that ink, that it starts to spread from one corner. And then gently.
Start from one line before you realize it is drawing Ghana map on your phone.
Charlie, and he works at the general manager at Medical's Hospital. So his phone is a work thing, and he's a phone guy. He's all YouTube documentaries and all. He's not a TV person and all of that. Waboka brutal, and he wanted to, transfer, data from that to that, and he just realized how cumbersome and how technology has changed a lot, and he has to get this app to do that and all of those things, and every day he's going like, Charlie, this thing, Charlie, and I was like, yeah, that's grief. Yeah. So he's going through that process, but finally he's going to come out of it. Will. So I think it's good for people to know that these are stages people go through.
All right. I mean, this has been very, very helpful for those who want to reach out, and I'm sure people are going through stuff that they are at the stage where they would need support, and they would need guidance. How
Absolutely.
do they do that?
So those who want to reach out to us, they can come by number 10 Kincho Street, East Legon Hills branch, very close to Ashalibotwe School Junction. The telephone number to is 0501 477 340. 0501 477 340.
All right, there you go. Dr. Yaw Osafo is the CEO of Medicas Hospital, East Legon Hills branch. Thank you, Doc. I'm very grateful.
You're welcome, Kwame.
And I promise not to grieve from tonight.
Oh, everything will be cool.
Everything will be cool. I'll bring my trophy here tomorrow.
Wow.
So that you people don't have to remind me of the steps.
Daniel Kranti will be waiting for you in this studio. Tomorrow I'll tune in at 2 p.m.
Oh dear. Thank you so much, Doc.
Sure, Kwame.
Now, are you ready to simplify your shipping experience? Well, let me tell you about DHL Express.